Truth doesn't always show up as words or energy. Sometimes it shows up as tears you didn't expect or joy that you can't explain. If your heart breaks open when something matters, you might be a lover. Not because you love romance, but because you feel truth through emotion, through connection, through what moves you. This is part 2 of my 4-part series, The 4 Channels of Truth. Each video explores 4 different ways that people interpret truth, energetically, emotionally, physically, or logically. Last time we explored the seer, those who channel truth through energy and field resonance. And now we're going to explore the lover, those whose truth lives in the emotional body. The lover's truth also doesn't come from logic. It comes through the feeling of something. That can be through tenderness, heartache, resonance, and emotional charge. It's often a quiet pull towards something or someone, or a tension in your chest that says, this is not right, something needs to be done, or it moves you towards some kind of action. Lover truth is both somatic and emotional. It arrives as affect, being affected by someone or something or someplace. If you can just imagine walking into an art gallery and seeing a painting and you're moved by the painting or you're moved by the artwork and you want to know more of it, you want to follow it, that is like the epitome of the lover. That is their compass through life, is that sort of feeling of being moved emotionally. In alignment, this is not ideal holding the camera like this. I swear I'm holding like a 10-pound weight right now. When aligned, a lover is emotionally attuned but not overwhelmed, capable of deep connection without fusion, guided by what feels real rather than what looks right. An aligned lover is going to recognize and honor and have faith in their emotional resonance, even if the world doesn't necessarily credit emotional truth as truth in the way that we'd probably benefit from. The world that we live in just wants proof, tangible proof, and someone's emotional truth, someone's feeling that something's not right is not often valued the way that I think it could be and that would serve us. But similar to the seer, it starts with you. You have to know your truth and stand by it and stand with it. And the more you do that, the more proof comes out of it. In distortion, the lover can become enmeshed with others' pain. There can be a tendency or difficulty to separate intuition from emotional reactivity. Can be drawn to intensity and sometimes even like emotional chaos, calling it depth when it's really drama. Can be overly influenced by praise, tone, or perceived connection. The shadow of the lover ultimately is confusing emotional charge with emotional truth, which leads me to how to reattune as a lover. You don't need to shut down to access clarity or isolate. You need to go inward. So tuning in, connecting to your body, connecting to your breath. I think what can happen for lovers as well is because emotional energy feeds our thoughts, sometimes we can get caught in the thought space, in the mental sphere, when really it's the emotional body that needs to be tuned into. And so meditation can be huge to just connect to the undercurrents, the emotional undercurrents that are driving thoughts, because that is where the truth is of those thoughts and of just your truth in general. And it can bring a lot of clarity and more positive, proactive thinking, which can drive more intentional action. So name the feeling that's driving your thoughts or driving behavior before you make any kind of movement. Like, what am I feeling underneath all of this? When you name it, I think you can really kind of liberate yourself a bit and let it move a little more, which as it moves, as the emotions move, they start to teach us something. They start to guide us rather than control us. Also, letting your body speak to you. Oftentimes we don't realize how much our bodies also are talking and having their own experiences, and you don't need to be an oracle to experience that. Emotional body is directly linked to the physical body. So noticing, like, what do you feel in your throat, your chest, you know, your gut? Noticing not just the truth of how you feel, but also where is it showing up in your body. Also, self-soothing, huge. Can you reparent yourself? Can you be the figure for yourself that you want or need in those moments? Can you slow down? Give yourself a hug. I know that's insane and silly, but it's so, like, that kind of thing. Or just even like rolling out the yoga mat. Like, to me, setting up a yoga practice for myself or going to a class is like the embodiment of a hug to myself. Like, do something that is genuinely kind to yourself. Do it all the time, as much as you humanly possibly can, but especially in those moments where you're like kind of yearning for external validation or you're yearning for guidance, just tune into yourself. Be that person. Instead of looking out there, can you tune into yourself and give you what you need? Because most of the time, and if not all the time, you're gonna do it so much better than anybody else is. And having emotional boundaries, knowing what's yours and what's the other people's, also very good. Strong emotional hygiene is also what I like to call it, like cleansing, taking a shower, visualizing, washing away other people's stuff, or if you read articles that are emotionally heavy, or watching stuff, or you're passionate about, like, you know, something, a cause that really stirs you up, like making sure you're coming in cleanly, energetically and emotionally, because if you're just collecting all this other emotional energy, you're gonna just become that. So you have to be the change that you want to see, you know? Short walks, short, quiet, solo walks where you can ideally leave your phone behind and just kind of put your hand on your chest and tune in and breathe. Short, doesn't need to be long. 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes if you're feeling cool, or longer if you're into that. Go for a hike, like do what you need, you know, do what you can. But definitely making time to kind of tap in and breathe and feel into your body. If you're into journaling or even talking to like a therapist or a friend about stuff, that's amazing. But maybe if you can reframe recapping things that have happened, starting to focus more on what it brings up in you. What is it? What do you feel? What did it bring up for you? And I think also really important is, like, if there's any shame around having emotional depth, like, that needs to be shifted. And that's also like a huge vulnerability to the lover type, is that we really collectively as a society, especially as we've, you know, become so masculine dominant energetically, we really undermine the importance and power of emotional maturity and intelligence, and how much it really is such a tool for truth and for channeling and connection and growth. And if you are a lover, like, you need to understand how much you are needed in this world and how much you are valued, and just, yeah, how important you are. And your gifts are so necessary, even if our world has kind of conditioned us to prioritize logic and evidence. Part of you that feels shame, if there is, that you can nurture it, but also, like, let it know, you know, like, this is a gift, this is your gift. And so long as you are staying regulated and attuning to your emotional body and your emotional truth, and you're honoring it and standing in it, you just can't go wrong. You might rub people the wrong way, but also, like, we're all gonna rub people the wrong way standing in truth, so it's kind of what it's all about. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, because I mean, the world needs it, doesn't it? I think ultimately reattunement for a lover is all about honoring your emotions as they come up, as they move, without becoming them. And that's why I think meditation is such a huge thing. I mean, for every single one of the types, but yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'm not a lover primarily, but I have always had really big emotions, and meditation has really helped me just create space between my emotions and my self-concept and my experience. And now I think I'm able to truly feel deeply without feeling controlled by things or feeling shameful, because I'm just a vessel where emotional energy moves through. And when you can see it that way and just let things kind of arise, you let them, they can be teachers. Our emotions are literally teachers, and they're guides. And I think you guys are the type that just, you know, we can all learn from that so much from you. So stepping into that space of just like, what are you trying to teach me? What you, as in the emotions, you know, what is moving through me? So if you've always felt like your emotions know something before you do, or before your mind does, if you feel flooded when something matters, you might be a lover. And your job isn't to prove anything to anyone. It's just to trust your emotional truth. To let your emotions speak. To stop making sense and start making space and moving towards the things that move you. If this resonated, drop a comment below and let me know if you identify as a lover. And don't forget to subscribe. Next up, we'll be talking about the Oracle and finally the Strategist. Talk to you soon.